Game over, man! Game over! I was thinking about it. I'm like, it's too clunky to be like, game over, pants, or whatever. It was just like...
Pants
so just leave
over, geeks.
Yeah. So leaving
pants.
it as game over, man. Game over. And the line is iconic.
It is iconic.
Okay, so then if you want to leave that for last, then we can redo that.
No. We're going to leave it. Because you nailed it.
Okay. I did. That was
a good one.
That was pretty good.
It was a good one.
Okay.
And if you haven't guessed, we're talking about aliens.
That's right. If you didn't watch the
S.
previous Camcast, then you would not know that it's a 1-2 punch, much like our Terminator 1 and 2 Camcast. I just realized I may have been wearing the same shirt.
Oh, you think? Yeah, you probably were. You love that shirt.
I do really love this shirt.
And good reason.
And for good reason.
It's an awesome
but
shirt.
I think I might also have been wearing the same sweater.
Yeah, same watch.
Well, the watch goes with the shirt.
Yeah.
I like to coordinate my watches with my shirts.
It's like, well, Ken changed between episodes. Look at this dirty fuck over here.
To be fair, I'm well bathed. Not clean shaven, but I'm well bathed.
Yeah.
As I had said in our previous Camcast on Alien, what I love about this is that Alien is an incredible movie. It is absolutely incredible. It is all the things it should be. It is an excellent sci-fi flick. It is an absolutely horrifying horror flick.
Mm-hmm.
The themes, everything it touches upon, the acting, the chemistry, the writing, the grittiness to it. That's one thing I didn't get a chance to touch upon. One of the reasons why I liked it was because it seemed like it was around our corner, so it wasn't so futuristic that you were just like it wasn't like glossy like Star Trek.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So it's a bit more of like Star Wars, where it's like the older Star Wars, where it's a little grittier. You know what I mean? Like even their high tech technology is still like really DOS shit.
Yeah.
But this one, much like Terminator 2, is better in every shape. Like in every respect, it's a better movie. It's like obviously there's more budget involved, but it's also.
I wish I would have looked that up beforehand because I bet you this budget's huge.
I bet you it's probably double.
Yeah.
If not triple what it was beforehand.
Oh, easily.
But then again, we're also dealing with multiple aliens.
We're
also dealing with a queen. So yeah, this entire
colony... queen alone probably cost a fortune.
Yeah, and the one thing I'd like to is, and I'm saying this in regards to Covenant, is that like the practical effects in this, everything looks real. None of this looks fake. We all know it's fake. But because of the animatronics, because of the costume design, and I didn't realize, I always forget that it's Stan Winston, who's like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
He's so good.
And when you see like the queen...
He did Pumpkinhead, and that's a shitty fucking movie.
But Pumpkinhead looked cool.
But you know who else was in Pumpkinhead?
Lance Henriksen.
He was.
Bishop.
He was.
He was. Yeah, when you watch the queen in this movie, like the way she moves and everything, you can see shades of the T-Rex and everything that Winston's going to create for Jurassic Park. Mm-hmm. Which is really cool.
Oh, man. So good. So good.
So, Sigourney Weaver's back.
Now, I like that you have the director's cut mentioned here. Because the version I watched was the director's cut.
Okay, I love that cut.
That's my favorite.
That's my
absolute favorite.
I always watch.
Because when I watched Aliens the first time, I just watched the regular one. So
Same here.
Missed out on the part where Ripley learns that her daughter passed away.
Yeah.
Because it's 57 years of her just floating in space, essentially. They just kind of found her.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was, like, really cool. And it also makes the corporation sound even more malicious. Because 57 years go by, right? And the first thing that she says is like, well, the alien fucking killed us all. Like, I was lucky enough to kill this thing. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because the whole purpose of the first movie was to find the alien and bring it back. But then they're like, nah, maybe you're just remembering things wrong. All right? Again, you're a woman, remember? Mm-hmm. Right? And she's like fucking pissed. She's being reprimanded, possibly being fired. You know, and she's like smoking because she's just like, and also dealing with the fact, because if you think about it, when she closed her eyes, she had just killed that thing. Mm-hmm. When she opened her eyes, she's still in that moment.
Yeah.
And on top of that, she finds out that A, it's 57 years later, B, her daughter is dead. Okay. At least Jones is still there.
Jones is still there.
Jones is still there.
Yeah.
And then we get to meet super, cringy douchebag Burke, played by Paul Reiser.
And I never thought I could really hate Paul Reiser until I watched Aliens.
No, you know what it was? I never thought I could like Paul Reiser until I watched Mad About You.
Yeah.
Because all I ever knew was Burke. And Burke it's great because he does the character well enough that you can understand why Ripley believes him.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, though. Like, I remember just feeling like, I don't know. Because also, like, Paul Reiser had that bit part in Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
No, Beverly Hills Cop 2. No, it was Beverly Hills Cop. That's right, it was Beverly Hills Cop. But he's basically being like Paul Reiser, right? Whereas here, you're like, oh, you're a fucking scumbag. And like a scumbag. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
Like, with Dallas, yes, he's the captain. Mother gave him his orders, and he needs that specimen. He wasn't bringing Kane onto the ship because of the orders, per se. He wanted to do both. He wanted to save his friend and make Mother happy. Mm-hmm. Burke doesn't give a fuck.
No.
Burke's a company man. He doesn't give a fuck. He will say and do whatever it takes to get what he wants. And what he wants is an alien. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all. We can get an egg. Oh, great. If everyone dies, but we get an egg, I don't give a fuck. Why are we even talking about this?
Yep.
Mission's done. We got an egg. We can create our perfect weapon to rule the space age, which they're already doing. That's the other part that I'm always just like, they're so evil. They're already running everything. But they need to have this biomechanical weapon for what? Like, what more domination do you need? It doesn't sound like there's a risk of them losing either. Like, it doesn't sound like there's no riots, no, there's no, like, rebels rebelling against the corporation. In fact, the only one that really seems to be pissed off at the corporation is Ripley, and she has every right to be pissed off.
Oh, God, yeah.
She's woken up, and she's found out that the mission is still, and always will be, the aliens. So even in Alien 3, you're really like, man, why isn't she leading the rebellion against the corporation? Oh, yeah, because the corporation's so huge. Like, they can't do it, right? Anyway, so... yeah, Weyland-Yutani, that's right. The corporation, she tells them, they say, fuck you, like, it's all bullshit, right? Yeah. And then, next thing you know, what's the planet that they're going to?
Oh, they're going back to LV-14.
That's right, they're going because it's a colony.
Yeah.
That's right. That part actually tripped me out when we're looking at, like, in the director's cut, when they show Newt's family. Because that part, I was literally like, what the fuck are they doing on this planet? Why the fuck are they, like, getting out? And then, like, the parents leave to do whatever their job was. They leave the kids in the vehicle, and I remember just being like, this is fucked. Like, does nobody know that this planet... Like, in the 57 years, they colonized this, but nobody sees anything? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
They haven't made it to that cave.
And then they get to the cave, and then I was like, holy shit, like... And what I like, too, is that, so we've got two types of world building. We've got Ripley being reintegrated into the world that she no longer knows.
Yep.
More insight into the corporation. But now we're getting into the insight of what has happened on the planet since then. Just the fact that they colonized. That part I thought was one of those, like, how arrogant are you?
Yeah.
That this alien life form that no one's ever seen before was found on this planet, this moon, and then... Your first thought was, well, we lost the ship. The only known survivor is lost. Everyone else is dead. Let's put up a fucking colony on this place. Let's actually have people living on this thing. Let's do that move, right? And I can't help but feel like it was the colony was literally created just so that they could find another alien. That was it. That's my feeling on this. And if I missed something where they said that that's exactly what they're doing, all right, you know what? It's been a week since I watched this movie.
Yeah.
so sue me.
Yep.
All right, Geek Pantsers, sue me. Don't actually do that. I don't have any money. It'll be a waste of your time.
Yeah, she agrees to go back as long as all aliens are exterminated.
But no, actually, what I love too is originally she's like, I'm not going back. There's no fucking way I'm going back.
At first it was no.
And this reminded me all the way back to one of our first Geek Pants Camcasts with Chris Feddick. And I was saying, like, it always blows my mind that, like, they never go, like, I'm not going back. I'm never going back. And then he chimes in with, well, that's how Ripley was in Aliens. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. She was literally like, I'm not going back on that fucking planet. I'm not going anywhere near that fucking planet. There's no way you're ever going to get me on that planet. And then Burke works his, like, just slimy magic. And he's just like, hey, look, if we see anything, we'll just kill them. We'll make sure that nobody lives. Like, they're all dead. Every single alien or xenomorph, they're dead. And you don't even have to get off the ship. You can stay on the ship. I didn't mean to freak you out. I went like that. And you were like, why would you?
Well,
But you know what I mean? Like, like he works his scumbag magic, and she goes, okay, all right, yeah, okay. And then gets there, and then, like, that was one of those where I was just like, but what did you think was going to happen? Your last known contact with the corporation was reading an excerpt where they basically said, we don't give a fuck about anything except for that alien.
Yeah, bring the alien back, they can all die.
All we want. If it's Dallas and you, Ash, great. If it's just you and the alien, Ash, well, frankly, even better, because then we don't have to pay anyone who's alive there.
Yeah.
Right? And so I guess that would be the only other thing where it's kind of similar to the quarantine thing, where immediately Ripley's like, no! And then as soon as it looks like he's okay, it's like, hey man, cool, come on the ship, let's get some food in you. So in this one, it's just like, literally, the last known thing she has is them saying, we don't give a fuck, and she's just like, you know what, Burke, I can trust you. You I can trust.
Yeah.
The rest of the corporate guys that pay your paycheck, I don't trust them. But you're the guy.
I see promise in you.
You're going to kill them, you're going to exterminate them, and I don't have to leave the ship. Ah, man, that's great. That is great. And then immediately she finds out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, though, like, they do show up with some of the most bitchin' Marines I've ever seen.
Oh.
I guess, I thought about this, the only sci-fi Marines that I think that are almost as cool would be the ones from Starship Troopers. Another great movie.
Those are cool Marines.
And you know what? Another great sci-fi movie by who? Paul Verhoeven from RoboCop fame. That movie was great too.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah, that was a cool movie.
So good. It
was cool. It had that B movie vibe, but it was big budget.
You know what I love too is it's that B movie like propaganda film.
Yeah.
It was just fucking awesome.
Neil Patrick Harris was in it.
Everyone that was supposed to be a big deal of that period was in that. Casper Van Dien.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be his big shot into the mainstream. It wasn't.
It wasn't.
Partly because he's a terrible actor.
There's two women in it, right?
One of them...
Was Rebecca Gayheart one of them?
Yes.
Okay, her, and then...
I can't remember her name.
Or something.
But she was in on Birds of Prey. Yeah.
Yeah, she was Oracle.
Yeah, that's right. I watched a couple episodes of that show. I know. You watched the entire season.
The whole thing. Well, it was like 11 episodes.
Yeah.
Not hard to burn it. Plus, Huntress was pretty hot.
They all were pretty hot, to be fair. They all were pretty hot.
Ashley Scott was...
Huntress... That was a shitty version of Huntress, though. I hated that version.
Yeah, it was, but she was hot.
Like, for some reason, like, Batman and Catwoman hook up, and then she's a metahuman.
Yeah.
Even though...
Because Catwoman was a metahuman in that world, right?
Oh, was she?
She was a legit Catwoman, I think.
Oh.
Because Huntress had the cat eyes.
Yeah, I remember. I thought it was just like luck of the draw. She was a metahuman.
Oh, maybe.
Like,
I don't.
Because
Canary
was a metahuman as well, but she was, I think, the daughter of the original Canary. But she didn't. Like, they didn't know that or something like because she was like a foster kid or something. I can't remember. Anyway, I hated that show. I thought I wanted to like it, hated it. Anyway, so getting back to this, so the action is on point, which I loved. Like, the action's really good.
Oh, I mean,
But what I love about this, though, is now, like, in the first movie, it's fucking scary because we're basically just dealing with, like, delivery guys who are now trying to survive this thing that they've never contacted before in their entire lives.
Yeah.
So they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And, like Ripley literally survives by the skin of her teeth. Like, she's lucky to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
And Jonesy, too. Lucky to be alive. And now, they did a great job of, okay, now we got fucking Marines. Like, we got, what's her face? Vasquez. You know exactly what it is. Vasquez
awesome.
is, like, fucking chin-ups.
Yeah.
Basically pissing fire with the rest of these guys. Yeah. You know, so
walking around with that huge friggin' turret gun.
You're like, Jesus Christ, like, who could possibly kill these things? Or who could kill the Marines? Like, how can the aliens stand a chance? Yeah. Well, then you see there's an entire fucking planet.
More than one alien.
It's not just one. When they say aliens, it's a fucking plural.
Yeah.
You know? But I like that they also introduced the concept of the Queen.
Mm-hmm.
So that I thought was really cool. So the Queen is the one that gives birth to all of them.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Like,
but you don't find out to the very end. Like, you have no idea where all these aliens are coming from.
Right. But then when you finally get to that point, you're just like...
It makes sense, right? Eggs. Never once an alien did you go, where'd the eggs come from?
No. They were there.
Yeah.
You never questioned it. They were there, and then they spawned facehuggers, and then from facehuggers comes the aliens,
mm-hmm.
right? Well, now you know that it's from a queen. The queen lays all the eggs, and then from there comes all these aliens. Like, oh, fuck. I remember the first time seeing that queen and just being like, holy shit. So, because like in Alien Camcast, I talked about how I watched this movie first, which I did.
Yep.
I'm actually really glad that I waited so long to watch the original, so that when I did watch it, I was legit, like, scared. Because a part of it is diminished because you see the sequel, so you know that she survives, right?
Mm-hmm. But
again, like my point in the last Camcast was that this movie is so good, or that movie is so good that you forget that she lives, right?
Yeah.
So on this one, it's the same thing. Like, I knew... Actually, I didn't know she was going to live in this one. But you have a feeling towards the end that she's going to. Especially because, like...
her relationship with Newt.
Yeah, that part was really, really cool.
That was a cool introduction to with Newt, because they were, like, just showing the fast motions. Like, you thought it was an alien at first.
Yes, that fake out, too. Like, you're thinking, oh, there's another alien. There's another alien. And then it's this little girl.
It's a little girl.
This little girl who has outlived her family.
Yeah, she's found this little spot, like, fucking
just managed to figure out how to dodge all of these aliens,
mm-hmm.
whose sole purpose is to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
She's food for them.
Yeah.
Okay? And then they basically... And I can't remember how long she was there by herself, but she was there long enough that it was insane.
Long time.
Like, it was insane. Like, even I think Ripley was like...
I don't think it was years, but months.
Yeah. It was long enough that Ripley was like, all by herself for this long? Like, what the fuck? But I love this because, again, like, it's another subversion because... And it's crazy to think, like, in 86, but then again, I guess they would have had to, because Alien was a subversion,
mm-hmm.
you know, female hero. But everything about it, like, the males are the ones getting raped, which you'll never see. You almost never see that kind of stuff. And I don't mean raped in the sense that it's sexual, I just mean, like, in the pseudo-sexual nature of the alien and how it incubates.
Mm-hmm.
Could be... They actually refer to it as male rape constantly in articles written about this. So in this... So now... But you also have... so crazy. This young girl is evading and surviving when realistically she should have been torn apart months ago.
Yeah.
Within minutes, like her parents, but and her brother too. But she's fine. She's like relatively fine. Like, I mean, obviously.
Well, I mean, she's scarred mentally, majorly.
Yeah, you can't bounce back.
She does not trust these humans.
You can't, no, of course not.
Like she wants nothing to do at first with Ripley.
No.
And then she starts to gain, like, Ripley gains her trust.
Yeah.
But she's still not really into these guys over here.
No.
Especially Burke.
Well. That's what I like, too, is that she saw through Burke right away.
Oh, God, yeah.
Right away.
Yeah.
You know? where are we here? Yeah, the Ripley Bishop stuff was crazy. The introduction of Bishop was really cool, though.
Yeah.
Really cool. Because they're all, like, now the android stuff is so integrated into them that it's a party trick. Hey, man, do the knife thing! But I thought it was awesome. It's like, okay. And then puts Bill Paxton's hand over his.
Did you read about that?
No.
Apparently Lance Henriksen was practicing that for months. That's him really doing it with a knife.
Oh, no, I knew that. That's right. I knew that. Yes.
He grabbed Bill Paxton's hand and put it on there. Bill Paxton had no idea.
That's even cool.
So then he was doing this. So Bill's reaction of going, "Aah!" That's real.
That's, you know what?
And that nick that Bill Paxton gets, he really got cut.
That's awesome. I knew that he had practiced that, but I didn't know that they forced Bill Paxton's hand in real life. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But also, like, if you think about it, like, directors back in the day were fucking pricks.
Oh, man.
I mean, sure, it's James Cameron, so we know he's a fucking prick. He's a perfectionist, but he's also a prick.
Yeah.
Like, but even, like, Ridley Scott pulling that shit with John Hurt and stuff, you're just like, the fuck? Yeah. The biggest prick, though? Stanley Kubrick. In The Shining. Yeah. Fucking,
what he did to that Shirley Duvall? Just
destroyed her.
Like, for life.
For a movie. Destroyed her for a movie that isn't that good. Okay? I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate from this, but The Shining isn't that good of a movie. Yeah. It's a better book, for one. Second of all, like, it's a good movie. It is a good movie. But it's not... I don't think it's a classic. But maybe it's because I'm not a huge Stanley Kubrick fan. Mm-hmm. That could be it. Yeah. Because, like, I remember... Eyes Wide Shut was a pile of garbage.
Oh, man.
God, I hate that movie.
Oh, that was a weird one for us to watch together.
That was a weird one for us to watch together, but the worst part is that, like, we weren't watching it just for the nudity. That was an aspect, yes. I mean, who doesn't want to see Nicole Kidman naked and a borderline orgy flick, right? Yeah. But fuck, that was such a terrible movie. I remember if I remember correctly, that was also the time period where Tom Cruise also came out in and around with Vanilla Sky.
Yeah, it was close.
And Vanilla Sky got shit on by the critics, but I actually think it's in reverse. Like, this is an infinitely better movie than Eyes Wide Shut. Visually, written, everything. Way better. But anyway. Where are we here?
Okay, yeah, so we got the Bishop stuff, more action in the first movie, meeting new, Burke wants to... Oh, this... Yeah, when Ripley finds out that he wants to bring the specimens back.
But Back to Earth is insane. It's one thing to bring it back to a corporation outpost or whatever, but to Earth, you're like, what the fuck? Like, and of course, like, Ripley is beyond pissed because they're not only are they supposed to be exterminated, but it's just like her experience with the alien is there's no stopping it. Like, there literally is no stopping it. So, like, blowing it up in space is the only way to get rid of it. So now you're thinking about it, and you're like, well, why the fuck would you bring it to Earth? Like, that just seems so asinine. Like, how arrogant is this corporation to think, like... And the whole purpose is to make a weapon anyway. Yeah. But how can you control this thing? And I think that's where the arrogance comes in, is that they think that they'll be able to make it so that they control it. And, of course, which leads to, like, Aliens 4.
Human Nature.
Or Aliens Resurrection.
Yeah.
That's the main plot of that one. Yeah. Which... didn't work out so well for us humans.
So after she gets pissed at him, she has a nap with Newt, wakes up locked up with a face hugger in the room.
Two face huggers in the room. Not just one, two.
The two bottled specimens, he put them in the room with them.
I was like, holy fuck. And then can you imagine watching Mad About You and being like, oh, hey, he's a regular dude. It's like, fuck you, Burke. Fuck you. Burke's great-great-great-great-grandfather, fuck you. Oh, man, like, that's, like, he's a scumbag to begin with, but that's, like, the worst thing ever. Like, if you thought Ash was a prick because he watched, like, he let her read that thing because he knew he was going to kill her, yeah, that's a prick move. Mm-hmm. He's also...
He's an android.
He's programming. Yeah, there's programming and stuff like that.
This is just a douchebag human.
This is just a piece of shit, and then for him to do that, too.
And up to this point, we still haven't seen any aliens.
No! This is all just human drama.
Once Hicks gets them out of that room...
Then it's on.
that's when we start getting they're coming in from all sides. And,
Oh, that tracking beacon.
mm,
Every time I hear that tracking beacon, it immediately brings me back.
and they're looking around and there's nothing.
And then it's on top.
Yeah.
Oh. Because there's the bits of the acid that drops through. Or no, the bits of that saliva.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh.
So who put their head up? It wasn't Hicks, right? Was it Hicks?
I don't
Someone
think it's
someone pokes their
That's
head
right.
up and they see them crawling.
That's right, and there's a bunch coming for them.
Yeah.
That's right. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That scene actually reminds me of a scene in seminal classic, The Blob.
Ah.
Where it's in the vents.
Yep.
And the one guy sticks his head up in the vents, and then you see it come right for him, and then that's that whole huge, awesome scene where you see it just, like, getting bigger in the theater. Like, oh, I gotta rewatch that movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's
been a while.
I gotta rewatch that.
It's been a while on the Blob.
Yeah, too long, actually.
Too long.
What is it? Matt Dillon. I think that was one of his first roles. He played the cool guy,
Matt
motorcycle.
Dillon. Yep. And Shawnee Smith. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
That was crazy.
The ambush.
Never
scene.
saw that happening, and then all of a sudden they just fucking get ripped apart.
The Marines are getting a little like, we got this. What the
they're Marines.
Yeah.
But that's the part too where I was like, yeah, you're Marines, but you're not trained for this.
No.
You have no idea what you're in for.
Like, they're not coming from you from all sides. They're coming from above. They come from underneath.
But as far as like we know, they've never had any contact with aliens.
No.
This is it. This is the first time that they've ever had contact with aliens.
Yeah.
And on this grand scale. But yeah, they're fucking cocky.
They're a Marine force that jumps between colonies.
That's right.
Which haven't had to deal with aliens before.
But still, they managed to handle everything else, so why wouldn't they, right? Yep. I think Michael Baine's... Hicks is the only one that's not cocky about this.
Mm.
Because he believes Ripley. That's the other part. The other Marines don't believe Ripley.
Yeah.
They're just like, whatever. Yeah, we'll bring it in. Burke thinks you know what you're talking about. Whereas he buys into it.
Mm.
Which I thought was really, really cool. But it's also Michael Bain.
Yeah.
Bain. Whatever you want to call him. Yeah. I guess would it be solid... Let's see. Solid Kyle Reese Hicks.
Solid terrible. Kyle Reese Hicks.
That's so terrible. But that is his 3 most iconic roles.
It is. Followed closely by The Abyss, in which he was the bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah, actually.
The Abyss.
But I wouldn't say that's one of his iconic roles because I forget he's in that movie.
See.
I always forget he's in that movie.
It's not one of his iconic roles, but I mean...
I love that movie.
I think of
that's one of my favorite Alien movies, actually.
Yeah.
Because that ending is crazy.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful.
Such a beautiful end.
But it's such a crazy good movie.
Yeah.
It like I said, one of my favorite Alien movies of all time. Anyway.
Easily.
All right.
Yeah, so we get the ambush scene. Ripley drives the armored car through, rescues the survivors.
I loved that scene. I thought that was so... Like, that's where I go, okay, this is badass Ripley. Yeah. Like, Ripley now is like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
We're getting out of here. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
We're getting off this planet, and that's it. And even if I have to nuke the planet, that's what we're going to do. This part with the nuke, though...
Well, that
every single time I watch that scene...
Where it just comes out of the water behind her?
Freaks me right the fuck out. And it breaks my heart too because like you're like, well, she's dead.
Mm-hmm.
She's dead.
Yep.
There's no way she's not, right? But that scene coming out of the water, oh, my nuts tighten every time I see that. That's how fucking freaky that movie is. For people watching us, women primarily, I'm sure there's half of our subscribers are women. I'm sure of it. There's no way.
I mean,
it can't be.
Why wouldn't they be? They're geeks.
That's right. So, just in case you don't know, when men get scared or when they get any sort of adrenaline rushing or have to do any sort of actual exertion of sorts, our nuts tighten. It's a way of protecting them to make sure that they don't... Because, they dangle for the most part. They just kind of flop around. So then they have to tighten, otherwise they could be hurt. So that's why my nuts tighten in that scene. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Now they're good. Nuts are good now.
Right now, my nuts are fine.
Fine.
I'm not afraid or
good.
Adrenaline rushing or
good
anything
for you
like that.
And your nuts.
Mostly my nuts.
Mostly your nuts.
Mostly my nuts. Anyway.
So yeah, news taken.
Yep.
And immediately Ripley's like, I gotta save her because they kept all these Marines alive. Newt's alive.
Yep.
I believe it.
That's right.
She's alive.
That's right.
And she hits the fan.
Well, fuck, you see all the eggs. You see all the eggs. You see the queen. Like...
And she's hooked up just to that sack.
Like, just unroll the red carpet is really... That's how they introduce the queen. The carpet is the eggs. Because you see the eggs and you're like, holy fuck. This is crazy. Like, what is... Like, she's going to torch the eggs. But then, you see the queen and then you're like... This is insane. Like, this is horrifying. Like, how do you make anything scarier than a bunch of aliens? You show the alien queen.
Yep.
And yeah, hooked up to a sack, you're just like, this is god-awfully fucking scary. Like, I can't get over this.
Yeah.
But it does lead to one of the coolest scenes in any movie.
So much of it. Like, she's got Newt. She's running. Okay, so, well, Bishop's back on the ship with Hicks.
And Bishop's good. Bishop's good.
Bishop's good. Hicks is injured.
Hicks is injured. I mean, like, Bishop's a good guy. Like, he's a good
he's a good guy.
He's a good android.
He's a good guy.
He's a good android.
He's a good boy.
Yeah, a little pat on the head there.
Good Bishop.
Hey, Bishop.
So yeah, so now she's setting up these bombs to go off, right?
Yep.
The place starts exploding. She's running for it with Newt. Alien Queen is pissed that the eggs are getting blown and shit.
That's scary. When that thing is fucking, like, screaming, like, you can almost, like, fuck you, Ripley! I'm gonna fucking kill you!
Rips apart from the sack and starts chasing her through the corridors.
The thing is massive, too.
Oh, huge.
This thing is not like a normal-sized alien, which is big to begin with.
She's got to be, what, 12 feet at least?
I'd put her at 12 to
20.
15. 12 to 20.
Somewhere in there. Ginormous. Ripley gets to the elevator with Newt.
Oh, no, sorry, yeah. Gets to the elevator with Newt. Keep going.
And then they're up, they're waiting for the ship, and then the
those
other elevators coming up behind them, and
Yeah.
they're like, what the?
Yeah.
Opens up, Queen walks out of the elevator, like, holy shit, she can ride an elevator.
Yeah, fuck. But, I forgot to mention this, the foreshadowing. Like, when you watch this movie for the second time, you go... Like, you say to yourself, well, no wonder she used the exoskeleton.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have that scene showing her how good, showing them, like, she's literally like, no, I can help. And they're like, you can use that?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, watch me. Boom, 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 boom. And they're all just like, you can almost hear them popping boners in unison. Because it's pretty fucking badass.
Yeah.
That she's, like, nothing phased her. She just went in, locked in, moved some shit around, boners popped, and everyone's like, oh my god, that Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
What? That Veronica Vaughn. What a sweet piece of ace. The only reason I bring this up is, like, so while Friday will be my last day at the Power Center, which has been a great run, Steve Baylot recently has been saying, I've been using Veronica Vaughn as a way to acknowledge that a woman's attractive. And I'm like, that is genius! Because it's one of the greatest scenes ever, you know? Where it's like, that Veronica Vaughn. What a sweet piece of ace. And I should know. No, you don't. Well, my friend knows. No, he doesn't. No, he does not. All right, everybody on the bus. Great. Grand. Rest in peace, Chris Farley. You will always be missed. But anyway.
Absolutely.
So, what was I talking about? I think I was talking about popping boners.
Popping boners.
Right, so anyway, that foreshadowing, though, like, in retrospect, you think about it, you're like, of course she's gonna use that to fight the queen.
What, you don't think about it?
Until you get there. Like...
They're on their ship, you think everything's good now, they're on the ship, they're taking off.
That step out of that...
landing gear won't go up.
Oh, man. The landing gear won't go up. The second that thing steps off the elevator, though, it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do?
She's seriously pissed she killed her babies.
Of course.
Very angry.
She's so pissed she ripped her sack off just to fucking kill you.
I've never been that pissed.
I've never been that pissed.
My sack is intact.
I hope to God I'm never so pissed that I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, you have to die.
Can you imagine that?
No, I can't imagine that.
A guy would be like, I'm not fucking with this guy.
That's how the
he
fight
just ripped
would
his
end.
sack off.
that's how I joke. I say like if I ever have to fight, like at my age now, if I have to fight, I gotta fight like a fucking crazy person.
Yeah.
And I mean like if you want to fight, all of a sudden I'll be like, yeah, let's go, and then I'll start taking my clothes off, and then you'll have no choice but be like, wait, what the fuck are you? I'm taking my clothes off, man. I'm gonna fight you naked.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna want to fight me after that.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, if he's naked, what else is he gonna do? Maybe rip my nuts off.
Don't even want to know.
Maybe rip my sack off just to fight you. But anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Well, first of all, the ripping Bishop in half is insane. Like crazy. Because again, you still get skim milk android blood.
Yeah.
Which, ugh.
Ah.
Ugh. And you Levitskys love your skim milk.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. Not that I made that connection.
Those days are gone.
Those days are gone.
No skim milk for this boy.
it's every time I think about skim milk now, it reminds me of a quote from Ron Swanson from a classic show called Parks and Recreation, Parks and Rec, where he goes, there's only one thing more that I hate than a liar, and then skim milk, which is water lying about being milk. And that's about the extent of my Ron Swanson.
Yeah, that's about it, though.
But that's so good.
It's true. It's true. It's just water. There's hardly any flavor. I mean, it's refreshing, I guess, if you're really thirsty.
Yeah. I've always been a 2% guy, so I remember being a 2% guy and then going to your house and having skim milk, and it's just like, well, I'm a guest, so I'm not going to say anything, but... this isn't milk, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying.
Can I have some flour to thicken this up a little bit?
But I think the rationale was that, skim milk is healthier than milk.
Back then.
But if you really looked at it, it wasn't much better.
Now they're saying that's not healthier.
It's not much better. It's it's a marginal thing.
It doesn't have the fat, but it also has 0 calcium content to help your bones. So.
Yeah. And it tastes like shit, so really, why were we drinking it?
There you go.
So...
So yeah, now we get Ripley going into the exosuit cargo loader to fight the Queen.
You know how cool that scene is? They actually parodied that scene in Archer.
They parodied that scene in Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh wow!
The end of Conker's Bad Fur Day, you fight the alien queen and Conker's in the suit.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I'm never gonna play that game though.
I remember my brother playing it on the 64, and I was all like, "Oh my god, this is aliens!
That's really cool. That's really cool."
And Conker's all like, "Come on, you motherfucker, let's do this."
Yeah, that part. I remember watching James play the shit boss, and just being like, and I was young too, and I remember just being like, "This is dumb." Like I hated the premise.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I understood why they did it, and it was very creative, but I was like, this is saying fuck for the sake of saying fuck. Like, having a shit boss.
Yeah.
Just so you could say you had a shit boss. Although he had teeth made out of corn, which was funny.
Yeah.
Which is only funny because
shit.
It's shit, and if you eat corn and have a shit, chances are... Like, that pisses me off because you go, like, I distinctly remember chewing.
All my food. You're all whole again.
And yet, here we are with...
What has happened?
Anyway, back to the exoskeleton fight. That is fucking awesome. Like, so fucking awesome. But they still do it in a way where there's still a possible doubt that Ripley's going to come out of this.
Yeah.
She might not make it. And then, of course, they fucking blow her into space.
Yeah.
I love that you have the quote about...
Oh, it makes me laugh every time.
Because it's ridiculous.
Just seeing Bishop's torso blown around, like, ah!
You're just like, oh my God.
Makes me laugh.
It's
hilarious.
It is funny.
It's funny.
It's one of those where I know why they kept it in the shot, but now you're like, just take it out. Because it kind of ruins the moment.
Yeah, it's badass.
Especially because, for you spend the part of that scene going, oh yeah, the torso's coming up. That torso's coming up.
That torso part. Great movie. I love this movie.
Oh, man.
It's a classic.
Both movies are classics, just like Terminator 1 and 2, and like I said too, like both of them are absolutely awesome on their own. Both Terminator 1 and both Alien, like both of those first movies, ended, and they ended. Like, they didn't have to do a sequel.
Yeah.
Okay? Then they do a sequel. And both of them are infinitely better than the originals, but they add to it. So, like, It's almost like now if you watch Terminator 1, you have to watch Terminator 2 within a couple of days.
Yeah.
You watch Alien, you have to watch Aliens within a couple of days.
It's a marathon on both.
Everything after those two, you could watch if you want.
You could.
Or don't.
There's times when I will, but...
I don't ever see myself watching Alien Resurrection again, because I didn't like it the first time around, and I haven't liked it any single time I've watched it. I remember liking Alien 3. I don't remember not liking Alien 3. I liked that they took the concept of how the alien will take on the physical attributes of what it incubates in. So when it incubates in the dog, now it's bipedal.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, humanoid. Right? Which I thought that was a really nice touch. Even though the dog designs look terrible. Like, the special effects of the dog are like, oh, God. But that I thought was really, really cool. Plus, I liked that it was a prison camp, like prison planet.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, like, it's not the worst of the batch.
No.
That would be the AVP movies. But that's the worst Aliens and worst Predator movies, period.
Yeah.
But the only thing I'll say about those, like, if you like those movies, there's nothing wrong with liking those movies, because when those movies came out, I wasn't like, oh man, like, this is gonna be... It was like, I know what the movie they're trying to do. I know what they're doing with this, and that's fine. Like, I can't critique it because it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And especially because, like, there are people that have those movies in both Predator and Alien continuity, and then there's people that say they're not canon at all. And that's fine.
I mean, they're not really attached at all when you think about it. Like, Weyland is mentioned. I can't remember. It's been so long since I watched them.
Yeah, no, and to be honest, I couldn't recall really.
You don't have to watch
either.
them. I mean, they're side stories that really mean nothing unless you really want to watch some monsters.
Yeah. But then again, it's like with the Predator lineup, like 1 and 2. I feel like those are ones that you have to watch. Predators
is cool.
Predators is cool. That's about it, really. I haven't seen The Predator or The Predatoring yet.
The Predator.
I haven't seen that one yet. And I don't know if I'm going to watch that one. I feel like if I watch The Predator, it's only going to make me like the first two more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And even though, like, Predator 1 and 2 is the reverse of what we're talking about here, I feel like Predator, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, is the best movie of all of them.
Yeah.
Predator 2,
is very
with
cool.
Danny Glover, is really cool, and I like that they put it in a city setting. They kind of... But I don't like that they kind of set it a little bit in the future.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Predator is set in our normal time for your period of that...
87 or whatever.
Like, whenever the movie came out, that's when it was set in.
Yeah.
That movie's so good.
Oh, yeah.
That's a camcast right there.
Oh, Predator. Absolutely. 100% going to get the Predator.
And eventually we'll get to every single James Cameron and Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
We'll do the run. There's going to be a lot of them.
We'll get there.
There's a lot of them. But yeah, Aliens. Awesome.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Aliens, watch Aliens. I guess, for me, a lot of this is not just talking about the movies that we love or discussing movies that maybe we don't like. A large part of that, for me, is because we're older, and I know that our our audience isn't as old as us. Some of them are younger, some of them are older, but I want more people to watch these movies, or just watch movies in general.
Mm-hmm.
I realize... The more we do this, the more I think about it myself, that I've watched so many movies over the course of my life. So, like I said this to a guy at work, we were talking about The Departed. We were talking about how amazing The Departed is. And I said, like, The Departed is so good that, like, I remember, like, I watched the Korean movie before this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just watched movies. So I saw Korean movies, so I was watching it, and I was like, man, this is amazing. Yep. So when I watched The Departed, I was like, this is this is like an Americanized version. This is crazy cool. That's really good. So just even something as simple as saying, and then he went, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, I just watched so many movies. So yeah, it's based off a movie called Infernal Affairs. It's actually based, the entire Departed movie is all 3 of the Infernal Affair movies in one. That's why it's like 4 hours long, and it's done by Martin Scorsese, so it's great. But it's like, I'm hoping to continue hanging out with my best friend and talking about the stuff we would normally talk about, but I'm also hoping that you guys who haven't seen these movies watch these movies and then let us know, like, if you liked it or not liked it, or even if you have watched it, let us know if you liked it or not. I'm hoping to open a dialogue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there might be movies that you guys have seen that we haven't. Probably not. But there's a possibility.
Yeah.
You know, and then you could say, hey, you know, Chris, based on what I've learned about you in the last couple of years and all your Geek Pants stuff, I think you guys would like this movie. We'll watch this movie. We might even do something like a live camcast of us watching this movie, so you get our live reactions to this. Mm-hmm. Unless the movie's terrible, and in which case we'll just talk about it normally. Or whatever. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But, like, help us grow this channel, because you guys have been helping us grow this as it is. We've already changed the format a bit. Let us know if you like the new format. If you don't, let me know so I can rub it in Ken's face.
That's right, because it was my call.
It was his call. He pulled a director rank on me.
Mm-hmm. Listen up.
I do 90%.
This is what we're going to do.
90% of the work on these things, so I'm going to make 100% of the calls, which is fair.
Don't make me go James Cameron on you.
Yeah.
Get in the water tank.
Yeah, get in the water tank, and then hang out until I tell you it's okay to get out.
You can come out in 20 hours.
But long story short, you're already helping us grow it, so let's do this together.
Yeah.
Take my hand, Geek Pantsers. Oh. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We'll center it a bit. There we go.
Okay.
Now, Kenneth, I've done this before, but where can we be seen?
Chris, we can see on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We can be heard.
I didn't ask you this yet. But it's good to know where we can be seen. But where can we be heard?
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts.
What?
SoundCloud.
Oh, wow.
Anything else?
No, I think I'll just leave it at, I love you, man.
I love you too, buddy.
All right.
Okay.
Love you too, Geek Pantsers.